packed in such a short or small area. It's difficult to fit 2 or 3 cars in a length at which these people are all packed in, and there's some 9,000 runners just in this area. So you can see, for the most part, people taking a slow, steady pace, just trying to get their feet out from underneath them. People from all over the country, all over the world, in fact, making their way to Utica just for this moment. Not to mention the people that are actually on the course, but the number of people along the side. The crowds have packed in along Culver Avenue for this event. Just in our broadcast area, which is pretty small for the most part, people all around everywhere you go. It's difficult to decipher who's on our crew and who's just here to enjoy the race. All right, fellas, that's the start of the 23rd Boilermaker. Let's send it back to Jim and Jason.
Ryan, excellent job as always. And look at the sea of runners. Again, over 9,000 runners. It's a sight to see, isn't it, Jim? Every year we say that, but it's so true.
It really is. It's a remarkable sight. We have well over 9,000 competitors here today, the second largest field in Boilermaker history, I believe. It's really a spectacle, and it's a wonderful sight to see here on the streets of Utica.
Now, as our local runners go through, we're also going to be watching for our Go the Distance group. We took 10 people, never run before in their life, and we've trained them to run the Boilermaker, and they're in that group. And boy, what a group we had this year. Pretty soon we're going to start to look at the lead pack at 2 minutes and 40 some odd seconds into this race. They're well on their way down Culver Ave now. And this year's group, again, the men's elite field, probably the best one we've seen in quite a while. Our favorites, as we talked about, Jim's favorites, as we talked about, Ruben Chariot of Kenya, Joseph Kimani has to have an obvious advantage in this, running the course as many times as he has.
Well, I think he has, Jason. He's a 2-time winner. He has great experience. I think that could be key in today's race.
We've just got a leader update for you, number 34. That would be Simon Karori, who's a Masters runner. I think he's moved back into the Open, but Simon Karori right now is the early leader.
Simon Karori is a great, as an open runner, he was a very, very experienced competitor and very successful. He was 3rd in the 1991 World Cross Country Championships. So we're talking about a superb runner here who can, even though he's over 40 years old, can compete with the best in the world in the open divisions. And
I have to say, we were talking with John Tunnell, the Masters winner from last year, and he was saying that he made a good point that Simon Karori is racing very well this year. Really not a surprise that he's actually leading at this early point. Maybe he's our early rabbit, as they say.
Well, absolutely. I mean, he, in a race such as the Bloomsday 12K, which is one of the biggest races in the world, Karori won the Masters race, but he finished 11th overall, and we're talking out of 50,000 runners. Yes, 50,000. That's remarkable.
And I thought we had a big race. Come on, you got to be kidding me. We've got a new lead change. Number 14, Dominic Karuri, has taken over. Now, he's not a bad runner either. 2nd Beta Breakers, 2nd Boulder. So he's moved up in front now.
Absolutely. I mean, I think what we're seeing here is the shuffling back and forth of some of the elite runners. They'll sort themselves out after a mile or two, and then we'll really see who the contenders are going to be.
Number 12, Jerry Lawson. Is that Jerry Lawson from Chittenango? I believe it is. In 2nd place, if I'm looking right. Jerry Lawson making an early run. This is kind of a surprise. Usually he hangs back there a little bit.
Well, Jerry's very aggressive, Jason. I mean, I think we could have expected to see him here among the leaders. I suspect that he will not be among the leaders at the finish line. He's come off a very, very hard training season. He tried to make the Olympic team for the marathon. Wasn't successful, but he's probably still feeling the effects of that race.
No doubt. And as you see the local runners running, 5 minutes and 30 some odd seconds into the race, it's a great sight, and they're just starting to thin out a little bit. But man, 9,000 runners. It's going to take a while. It takes a good almost 10 minutes to get across the start line.
Oh, and by that time, our leaders will be past the 2-mile mark.
Without a doubt.
And that's one of the beauties of a race such as this, I think. We have truly world-class runners competing side by side with many of the members of the running community. Here we have the leader in the women's race. That looks like Catherine DeReba, alongside Yuko Aramori.
And Catherine DeReba, as we said, racing very well this year. Won Boston Marathon over Fatuma Roba, who was actually supposed to be here, but because she did not run well in Peachtree, Jim, her coach decided, you better not go to Utica. Maybe not a bad idea if she's trying to make the Olympics.
Yeah, I think so. She'll really want to focus on defending her Olympic title that she won in 1996 in Atlanta. But I suspect that even if she had gone head-to-head with Catherine DeReba here in Utica, that DeReba would have prevailed. She's still, I'm sorry, she's still my pick for today's, to take today's title.
Oh, I'm not surprised. As experienced as we are here at News Channel 2, we bring you the best coverage that we can possibly bring. One of the things in that mass of people, of course, is our mayor, Tim Julian. He's taken over this week, and he's running his 9th Boilermaker, so we're wishing him well. We see he put up a lot of signs around the course, wishing everyone well, saying he'll see us all at the finish line. Trying to get an update on our elite runners as they are making their way down the parkway. They'll be getting ready to turn down Valley View shortly here into the golf course. As you can see, the runners starting to thin out now. Some local runners that are runners to watch. Chris Getman from Million, his best Boilermaker 48:29. Vincent Duraco from Utica, and Paul Humphrey from Whitesboro are some local runners to watch. Right now, a elite runners update. Number 11, that would be Gert Thies from South Africa, correct, Jim?
Yeah, Gert Thies, he's an established marathon runner. He's best known for his participation at the longer distances. He was 12th in the London Marathon earlier this year. That was in March. He ran 2:11:33. On July 4th in Peachtree, he came 11th.
Yep.
So he's certainly our front runner. Again, I don't think he's going to be at the front, of the very front of the field once we reach the finish line, but he's aggressive, he's strong, and we should absolutely see him at the front in this early going of the race.
At this point, Charles Malinga from Zambia is in 2nd place. Of course, that could change any second. His best finish this year, 2nd in Steamboat, 24th in Boulder. And that's not what we were hoping for. That's Catherine DeReba, as you're looking at her right there, our women's leader right now. She's motoring along. It's her race to lose, Jim, is it not?
I think it is, Jason. She looks very comfortable and very strong there, even though we're still very early in the race. She's aggressive, and I think key is probably that she's very, very confident. She's had a very successful year up to this point. I suspect we're going to see an embellishment of that success today.
She must be running well because we see her back. Saul Mendoza, that is Saul Mendoza from Mexico, approaching Utica College right now. And Jim, we really kind of thought that it would be down to him. I bet you that's Creek Chabort coming in right behind him.
Oh, I suspect it is, and I'm sure Saul is very, very happy at this point in the race. Of course, there's still a way to go. He hasn't got it won yet, and anything can happen, but he looks wonderful. He's cruising along right there. He's going to go one place better, we think, than he did last year.
And Saul Mendoza, in talking with him in the past, has always said that he loves those downhills. And you know what? He's ready for one in just about maybe 2 minutes as he gets to the top at Utica College there and right down Champlain. Boy, what a day it's been. And this is good. We got good race time. Here's our first place man right now. It's number 11. That's Gert Thies. Once again, Gert Thies is still in the lead out of South Africa.
There he is, and he must be coming close, well, round about the 2 mile mark. He's probably just gone past it, I would think.
Yep, and he's, and that, I believe, was one of our wheelchair, Missy Kaiser. I bet you that was from Secoit. But Gert, I have to say, in South Africa, finishing 12th in the London Marathon, 11th in Peachtree, are you a little surprised that he's out ahead so far this early? I mean, is he one of the rabbits that we expected to go out ahead?
Well, I think he probably realized that he doesn't have the basic speed of a Joseph Kamani or a Ruben Chariot. So if he's going to steal the race. He really has to go early and play to his strengths. However, I think that he really doesn't have the weapons to really take the race today. I think that we'll see a big change once he gets into the golf course and he starts to climb the hills.
I tend to agree with you. They've got a big pack behind him right there. I imagine every single top guy, along with John Carrere, David McCory, Joseph Kamani, Ruben Chariot, all in that pack. He's got a nice little lead, but you know what? I know he knows, because he's been here before. I believe he's been here before. He's got a major turn coming up, and it's going to be a tough hill. We got Tom Coyne on the press truck. Tom, what's going on from your vantage point?
Well, I'll tell you this. It continues to be the South African up in front as he leads a group of about 25 runners. And in that group is former Boilermaker champion Lazarus Nyakaraka. You may see him on the right in the red top on your screen. Next to him is number 14, that's Dominic Carrero of Kenya. Those two have been out in front, but Ruben Chariot, who has been mentioned as one of the contenders here, is just to the left. And he is in that day-glow yellow as they continue a pace of about 50 yards behind the South African Kurt Deep.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you so much. We're about 5 minutes away or so from the wheelchairs crossing the finish line, and we will bring that to you, of course, because we are the most experienced broadcast team here in Central New York. We're loving things right now. We're looking at Gert Teese. He's out there ahead right now, but as Tom Coyne said, in case you couldn't quite hear him, there is a great pack of about 25 runners as they are making their way turn on to Valley View. This is where I bet you they catch up with them. What do you think, Jim?
Oh, I think so. I think we'll see some changes. All of the major contenders are there in that chasing group. Teese looks like he has maybe 30 meters or so. It's not significant enough at this point in the race. And as you just said, Jason, we're going to hit some major hills right now. And that's where we've seen some very significant changes here in the past. And I think we're going to see another one this year.
Now you wonder, now that the sun is out on the course, you wonder if that might slow things down just a smidge.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Obviously, once we lose the cloud cover, the runners' core temperatures tend to elevate somewhat. But the conditions are still very, very good. I think we have a very slight cooling breeze, which will help also. And these guys are all very experienced. They know what they're doing. So I think we're still on course for some very fast times.
As we see them make the turn, that bunch of 25 runners is still back there. Lazarus Nyakaraka, I'm told, is in that pack. Ruben Chariot is in that pack. Your guy is in there. Dominic Karuri, I'm sure Joseph Kamani is in there. Kamani's a very smart runner. He knows this course. He knows what to expect. And he knows that if Ruben, who he lost to at Peachtree, gets a little bit tired, he knows when to make his move, and that's probably going to be on that downhill on Champlain before they turn onto Whitesboro Street.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Jason. Kimani is very experienced on this course. He's a two-time winner. He was fourth here last year. A poor run for him, an exceptional run by anybody else's standards, but I think he's really back to top form this year, as he's shown in other races to this point. I think that if you ask me for my pick, I think it's going to come down to a race between Kamani, Chariot, with possibly Alain Ameri as the spoiler.
Yes, we talked to Ameri's agent, and he said that this was his just his second United States race. His first one was a 10K, so we'll see how he makes out on a 15K.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And Larry Bartlow, his agent, did say that he's a very talented runner. He was third in both the 5K and the 10K in the Ethiopian National Championships earlier this year. As we know, the intensity of competition in Ethiopia is exceptional. To get third in both of those races was really quite something.
Now you see some of the local runners making their way onto the turn onto Valley View. That pack we saw on the downhill just before they go into the golf course is starting to catch up with Gert Teese. A pack of 25. They really narrowed it down, so we'll see if somebody makes a move here going on the uphills into the golf course. And you see a lot of local runners now making their way onto the turn. These are kind of the elite local runners, so to speak. The guys that you're going to hear about: Chris Getman, Vince DeRocco, Paul Humphrey, Matt Spring. One of the elite local women's runners, Susan Sivers Corrigan. She may be 41 years old, but she is a runner out of Remsen. And Christine Campbell, her best run last year, 1 hour, 1 minute in a 1999 run. She's out of Waterville. Now, see, there's the pack. They have pretty much all caught up And they're getting ready to make the turn into the golf course. Is this another place where you could say things are won or lost?
Oh, I think so, Jason. But again, people are very cagey. We can see such a large group here means that nobody at this point, none of the people who are really thinking about winning are making any significant moves yet. It's a very, very testing hill. It takes a knowledgeable runner to really know how to run it and come over the hill in reasonably good shape. So Kamani could be the man to look at this point.
As you see, they're in a pack here. We're going to keep watch here. The wheelchair racers should be coming up pretty soon here, so as soon as they come in sight, we'll let you know, and we'll go right to that. As we're looking some of the, I know Rich Cummings, he just went out of there, went to high school with him back in Draper High School, back in Rotterdam, New York. Rich Cummings, he's a great runner in high school, and he's still running today. A couple years older than me, though. Just turned 30. I just turned 30. Happy birthday.
And happy birthday, Jason.
Thank you. I'm just teasing.
Belated, I apologize.
That's okay. And as you see, many local runners coming in. We're watching, reason I can't actually see the monitors because we're turned around and we're watching. They should be zooming down the hill right here across the finish line any minute now. Here they come. We're going to go to that shot right now. Saul Mendoza was in the lead with Krieg Chabort behind him. Let's see if Krieg can catch up or not. We're going to watch. We're trying to get a look. It's Saul Mendoza, and nobody's in sight. Saul Mendoza is going to reclaim his title here. The first three-time wheelchair champion. Saul Mendoza, your winner of the 23rd Boilermaker Wheelchair Division. And you can bet he is excited to win back here at the Boilermaker. He wanted this one. He wanted it last year. Nobody in sight. Krieg Chabort, we're assuming, here he comes now. I believe that's Krieg Chabort in second place coming down. Krieg's going to be upset. He wanted to win this one too.
Well, I think he is, and it looks to me like Saul Mendoza didn't just win this race, he just dominated it.
He did.
He was very aggressive from the start, and over the closing miles, he just rolled right away from Krieg Chabort. He's going to be very, very happy with his performance today.
We're going to look for a time on that. We're going to try and get some information on a time. Last year, Krieg Chabort came in 33:35. Okay. We're going to take a break now as we see some more wheelchair racers come across the finish line. You are watching News Channel 2's live coverage of the 2000 Boilermaker, the best in the business here at Channel 2. We'll be back after this.
Marcy Carpet introduces Floor Covering Plus. Not only can you save money when you buy floor covering at Marcy Carpet, you get a whole lot more. Like the largest team of floor covering experts, like professional expert installation from the best in the business, like the biggest selection of in-stock floor covering on sale now. Let our designers guarantee that your selection matches your room in style and color. Nobody else can offer Floor Covering Plus except Marcy Carpet Outlet and Design Center, Route 49 in Marcy.
Hi folks, Tony Hathaway from Utica's only 5-star Jeep dealership, E.J. Peters Jeep Hyundai, with some great deals on Jeep Grand Cherokee and Cherokee at hundreds under factory invoice, or 2000 Hyundai Sonata for only $14,769, fully equipped with dual-side airbags. How about a 2000 Hyundai Accent at an unbelievable $8769, both with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Looking for pre-owned? We got pre-owned from $87 a month right here at E.J. Peters on Commercial Drive, the only dealership you'll ever need.
You all have excellent backgrounds. What would it take for you to come work for us? President Lincoln?
We want the WISE program. All our personal insurance needs are taken care of right at work through payroll deduction.
Dr. Franklin?
It's very convenient. No bills at home, and we get life insurance, auto, home, boat, complete coverage.
General Washington?
It's offered by Utica National Insurance and your local Utica agent. Make the wise decision.
Father, son, executive board, surfboard, business suit, wetsuit, dress shoes, no shoes. What brings these two to the table? Honey Nut Chicks. The taste of golden honey and nuts that's sweet, but not too sweet, so everybody likes it. What next? Maybe a Father's Sunday at the office? Yeah, right. Honey Nut Chicks, bringing families together. For breakfast, anyway.
And welcome back to our 2000 Boilermaker coverage here on News Channel 2. There's your leader pack right now. We have Dominic Karuri in the lead, followed by Jim's man, Ruben Chariot, and David McCory, who we talked to yesterday. And he said, I made the mistake, Jason, of going out and getting ahead early in the race last year. I won't make that same mistake again.
Yeah, I mean, David McCory's a very, very good runner. I mean, maybe we've overlooked him a little bit in our analysis. He was 5th in Peachtree just earlier this week, 7th at Crescent City. These are the cream of road races in the US. I should say the second level of the cream, Utica Boilermaker being there.
Of course.
But so David McCory's a very experienced runner. He's had a 10K PR of 28.06, a 15K PR of 43.06. That's very, very fast.
It's very fast. As a matter of fact, you were telling me earlier, at 43 minutes last year, John Career, Jerry Lawson right there. That's Jerry Lawson, Chittenango native. We talked about him early on. One of the things we talked about also is they make their way back onto the Parkway. You said 43 minutes, John Career's time winning last year. That was the second fastest all year long, wasn't it?
Oh, the second fastest worldwide. The only person to run faster than John Career in 1999 was Paul Turgat, who was also the holder of the world's fastest ever time at this distance.
So there's no surprise there.
No, no surprise.
Also,
so,
we said Ruben Chariot was in second place. And in second place was Ruben Chariot. And your guy, Ruben Chariot, has had one heck of a year so far, hasn't he?
He really has. He's been an emerging force this year on the US roads. There we see our women's leader, Catherine DeRaber. She looks wonderful going down that hill.
She does. She's got a great stride going. And you know what? This is where you pick up your speed. This is where you make up your times. We haven't gotten any split times yet. We're probably going to go to Tom Coyne any minute now and get that information as soon as that becomes available. Right now, the up to date, as we see Catherine going down that hill. I love that hill. I love that hill. That is the greatest hill because you know what? Going up it is a real pain.
Oh,
Trust me, I did it this past Sunday with our organizers run, the Boilermaker organizers run. In fact, I have my finish pin right here. They got it to me today. And this is going to be great for her. She's picking up some major time going down the hill. Dominic Karuri in first place, number 14. Ruben Chariot in second place, and David McCory, that was our last update. As you can see, there's Catherine DeRaber. And you know what? I don't see any other women anywhere near her right now.
No, I mean, it looks like she's really done what we expected she would do, which is take the race by the scruff of the neck, take it out hard, and just run away from everybody. We can assume, even though we haven't had any mile splits at this point, she's running close to 5 minutes per mile, probably 5:05, something like that. Going downhill, she may be even faster, but she looks very, very comfortable. Of course, there is a difficult transition once you leave such a sharp downhill. To get back and feel comfortable on the flat again can be a little bit difficult, but she's a very experienced runner. She knows all about running uphill, downhill, and running them very fast.
The other thing we can say is that she is pretty much right close to a 5-minute mile because they just passed the 4-mile mark, and we're about 24 minutes into the race. So she's doing quite well right now. We're excited for that. We're looking for right now the men's order. Last we heard, Dominic Karuri, Ruben Chariot, and David McCory, 1, 2, 3 in that race. As you can see, Catherine DeRaber. So they're running about 22:54 at 5 miles, and if you do the math, Jim, which you can do better than me, that's probably a little over 4 minutes a mile, probably about 4.5.
Well, I didn't go to your high school, Jason, so my math is not as good as yours. But Catherine DeRaber has certainly been great on the roads this year.
There's Bill Rogers going by right there.
There's Bill, yeah.
We always get him in the golf course, and he looks good. He looks like he's running well today.
I've never seen Bill when he didn't look good. He's a man who's just born to run. I mean,
he's the Dick Clark of running. He
absolutely.
looks ageless.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful. 4 Boston Marathon titles, 4 New York Marathon titles. He's everybody's favorite road racer, I think.
And that happens to be why he's in the Hall of Fame, along with Frank Shorter and a host of others. And those Hall of Fame ceremonies were yesterday. We have an update in Lazarus Niakaraka, a champion here back in 1995, has taken the lead away from David Karuri. And number 22, we have another update, Ronald Makoga out of Kenya. And here's your update right now, as we're looking right now. We're looking at number 4 in the lead, Joseph Kamani. you got to think he is the sentimental favorite here, as well as one of the favorites. We're looking at number 4, as in Joseph Kamani, Lazarus Niakaraka, a champion here, and Ruben Chariot in the top 3. So it goes number 4, Joseph Kamani, number 10, Lazarus Niakaraka, if you are scoring at home or if you're home alone, and number 13, Ruben Chariot.
Yeah, and Ruben Chariot has really come to the forefront this year on the U.S. road racing circuit. We didn't see anything of him last year, but this year he's just he's arrived and he's dominated many of the races in which he's taken part.
They're actually making the turn on to Genesee Street. We are going to go to Tom Coyne now, who has an update from the truck. Tom, what do you see?
Well, I'll tell you, Jay, we've got Joseph Kamani leading right side by side with Alan Emery, who's also come up, and Lazarus Niakaraka is looking very, very strong. He's been strong ever since we got onto the parkway. Right next to him, to the right, is number 2, David McCrory. This is a group that's starting to separate from what had been about an 18-runner pack to right now whittling down to about a dozen as we've turned on to Shepherd Place. So the group that you see on your screen is led by Joseph Kamani, then Lazarus Niakaraka, and then you've got Ruben Chariot. Those are your top 3, but it's really a pack of about a dozen as we come down near the firehouse at Shepherd Place and Sunset Ave. We're going to be coming up on Burstone, which is one of the toughest parts of this course, and that could be a deciding factor.
You are so right, Tom. You really are right about that. As they make their way, turning back on to Burstone Road. And as I'm looking at this pack, pretty much split in half. We were at 25 runners, now we're up to 12, and there's no clear-cut leader, although we do have Joseph Kamani in the lead right now, but that changes every 5 seconds, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of jostling back and forth here in the front of the pack, which is really what we'd expect also, maybe a few elbows thrown, but interesting to see that Alain Emery from Ethiopia, the real emerging force here on the U.S. roads, is there in the pack. He's right at the front of the field. He won in at the Peachtree 10K on July 4th. Who knows, we may see him win here today also.
Now we talked with his agent earlier today, and he said that during Peachtree there was some elbowing going on, and they had some pictures of it in the paper down there. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
As we see another wheelchair athlete doing their best. There we go. Joseph Kamani is in there, along with number 11. That would be Gert Thies.
And number 13, Ruben Chariot is
Your
right
boy,
there.
he's right in there.
He's my boy.
As we see the group coming up. And we're going to go to Matt DiNardo shortly here as they're about ready to go by his location. Joseph Kamani right now in the lead, looking good. His form is great. He says he feels as good as he has in the last couple of years. He's healthy. Now taking the lead. I can't quite see that number.
Looks like Lazarus Niakaraka to me, I believe.
Yep. Lazarus Niakaraka. We're going to go to Matt DiNardo, is at the 5K start. Matt, what do you see?
You know, it's a neck-and-neck race. You have 3 people in ahead, as you've been mentioning, 10, 13, and 4, followed by 7 and 2, with just an amazing race. You're right, and Tom Coyne's been calling it the whole time, and so have you two. You're looking at a good pack of about a dozen, following behind that another 5 to 10. But again, the lead there was 10, 13, with 2 shortly behind there. So a real good race, and it doesn't even look like they're being affected by the weather at all. They are just in perfect stride, not even look like they're breaking a sweat at all, Jason and Jim.
I see my friend Tom Coyne on the truck there. You can pick him out with his News Channel 2 shirt. And there he is waving at us. Gotta love it, Tommy. You're doing a great job. Now you see they're breaking off. They had about 12 and they're breaking off even more. We're gonna get a pack of 4, 5, or 6 now. There's another wheelchair racer just came across the line as they are making their way up Burstone Road. And you know what? A lot of people say that race can be won or lost on Burstone Road. Personally, from my opinion, I think Burstone is a little bit easier than those hills in the golf course, but it really is. They start to thin out here as they make their way around Burstone and then up Champlain past Utica College and St. Luke's. And we got a heck of a shot up on top of St. Luke's with a camera up there, a new camera spot this year for us. We're proud of that. We're proud of our technical crew who has just gone the distance this year and to give us great coverage. There's Frank Shorter running by the camera there. Good old Frankie, Hall of Famer. And we love Frank Shorter. He always comes back and he talks to us.
The 1972 Olympic marathon champion, of course, a real legend in distance running.
Certainly is, and we see Joseph Kamani still up there, along with Ruben Chariot, Lazarus Niakaraka, a pack of small now. This is where they break it down. This is where they get down to a 2, 3, 4 runners, and you'll see it break into 1 or 2 as some more wheelchair runners, or racers, excuse me, coming across the finish line here, coming down the hill. And we got a nice little pack of runners coming up as we get ready to turn. Lori Stevens is your Boilermaker women's champion. If we could take a shot at the finish line, she just crossed the finish line. So repeat winners for the women as Lori Stevens wins again in the women's race here at the 2000 Boilermaker. Last year her time 46:57. We'll get a time for you a little bit later on in our broadcast for her. So congratulations to Lori Stevens back-to-back. Here's our runners now. That's Ruben Chariot. He was confident yesterday, Jim, wasn't he? He was like, yeah, I think I can win.
He was very confident, and he seemed very comfortable, very relaxed. Obviously coming in on a high after his victory earlier this week in Atlanta. So he looked very, very comfortable. He's my pick, as we mentioned earlier on.
Ruben Chariot along with Joseph Kamani. We're going to the media tent right now. Ryan has a special guest, our 2000 wheelchair division winner, Saul Mendoza. Ryan?
Jason, he was the first person to come across the finish line today in the 23rd edition of the Boilermaker. Sal Mendoza, a 3-time winner here. Did you expect to win by so much today?
Not really. I know that we have a very good competition today. 2 guys from South Africa and this guy from New Zealand. They are some of the top racers in the world, so I knew it was going to be a very tough race.
It was tight there in the golf course. Was that where it was that the difference in the race at that point?
Yes, actually, I knew I had to attack early this time because they are such a good coasters that I had to attack up the hill because I'm such a lightweight. So I attacked pretty early and put a gap on them, and I'm really surprised that they never catch back.
To win your 3rd Boilermaker here, I mean, how does that feel?
I feel like a home. This is the kind of races that I love to do every year. After Peachtree, I was thinking that I just want to stay home and relax, but I couldn't stay. I have to get me a ticket and show up here today.
How about that? Somebody who loves Utica. There's a lot of racers here who do. Jason and Jim, back to you.
Thank you so much, Ryan. We have number 13 in the lead. That's Ruben Chariot. That's Jim O'Brien's pick to win this thing. And Jimmy, I always said you knew what you were talking about.
Well, you're probably the only person who ever said that, Jason. But it seems to me it's a little bit early to make such a strong move. We're only 33 minutes into the race. We still have 10 minutes to run. Still a long way to go.
Yes, there is 10 minutes to run, and I'll tell you right now, if he makes too much of a kick, you watch. There's a group about 3 or 4 behind him. They'll make a run. If he is not ready for this turn, he may not realize what he's in for when he gets down at the bottom of the hill, because there's a little bit of an uphill, and that's where guys like Kamani and Niakaraka, who know this course, could make a move and catch up to him. We're going to go to Susan now, who is at Valley View. And Susan, what do you see? A mass of humanity, I'll bet.
Oh, Jason, it certainly is. I know a lot of the elite runners are already near the end, but these are the hometown people. These are the people that have been training this whole time, running through. We've seen a lot of celebrities, our local celebrities. Mayor Tim Julian ran by, our own Earl Reed photographer, Jolene Ferris, and a bunch of different people. But the most important, Earl Davis. But the most important is these are all the family and friends and people that you know in your surrounding community. Yesterday at the induction ceremony, Greta Weitz said, you know, how many times do you get to run with the professionals? How many times can you go golfing with Tiger Woods or swing a bat with Mark McGuire? But right here at the Boilermaker, you can run with people like Catherine Dereba, and you can run with people like Frank Shorter and Bill Rogers, and that's what makes this thing phenomenal. We're right here at the Memorial Parkway and the Valley View. These are the people. They're still feeling good. They're still looking good. They're going to climb up this hill right here. They're coming in from the very beginning. They're hitting the they're almost hitting the 3-point mile, and they're going to hit up the hill. Once they get top of the hill, that's the best part, guys. That's when they go downhill. So up this hill, then downhill, and Jason, soon they'll be heading your way. Back to you.
Thank you, Susan. This is Catherine Dereba making her way to Utica College, doing pretty well right now. I don't see any women behind her, so she can cruise through this unless she's trying to make a world record, which I don't think she is. She just knows that she is on an even pace. She's going to run her race, right?
Yeah, she looks very, very comfortable there, Jason. It'll be interesting to see what her overall position is in the race, how she fares against the elite men who are in front of her. I suspect she's going to be very, very far up.
Great money shot by our photographer, Kirk Tupai, there on the bike, as we see Catherine Dereba making her way up the hill towards the top of Utica College. Then she'll go downhill, and boy, she does a great downhill because we saw her in the golf course, and she really picked up her pace going downhill there.
Oh, she's very, very smooth, very comfortable. Interestingly enough, she has a new coach, as we were discussing with a colleague earlier on today. His name's Mustafa El Nashadi, a former world-class marathon runner. He's been coaching her for the last year, and obviously it's paying off.
It certainly is. I mean, this is like a jog in the park for her, no pun intended here, because she went on to win the Boston Marathon, beating the, I don't want to say too heavily favored, but a favored Fatuma Roba, who, of course, we told you earlier, did not make it here to Utica. Her coach said she needs to rest and train a little bit harder because he was disappointed with her at Peachtree. As we check out some more runners here throughout the course, heading back into the golf course. These are a lot of our local runners making our way down the hill. I'm going to take a shout out to my good friend Joe Wilczynski. He's run every single Boilermaker, as you talked to him earlier. He's trained and run every single Boilermaker, help our Go the Distance runners go. And he had somewhat of an injury, so we're hoping that he's going to make it. There's Catherine Dereba again, as she is cruising past St. Luke's. This is the downhill now. This is where she's going to pick things up a little bit as we're going to get to our lead runners, as they're probably down at the bottom of Champlain getting ready to turn on to Whitesboro Street. And you wonder if they're going to start those 3-4 runners that were behind Ruben Chariot, if his inexperience on the course could catch up with him this year.
Well, we're approaching the crucial point in the men's race as we look at Catherine Dereba looking very, very comfortable. I think among the men, we really haven't got much longer to run, maybe about 5.5 minutes at best. Obviously, the Boilermaker record set in 1997 is 42.54 to Joseph Kamani. Now, if Kamani's going to take this race this year, he needs to close some gap on the leader, Ruben Chariot. There's our first three.
Yes, they are, and we're going to get back to them any second now. We're moving our chopper into position as the top three are up there. It's actually a two-man race now. We're trying to find out exactly who is in the lead right now, as it's a two-man race with a third, assuming a Kenyan behind them. We'd like to go to Tom Coyne shortly, as soon as we can get a hold of him.
Well, I think once again, Jason, we're looking at a very, very exciting final mile here at the Utica Boilermaker Road Race. It seems to be always that way. The early tactics, it looks very, very exciting.
Look at that. It's our boy Joseph Kamani, probably the sentimental favorite here, with a close behind. That looks like it's Ruben Chariot right behind him. We've got Tom Coyne. Let's go to Tom. Tom, what do you see?
Well, exactly as you just said, Joseph Kamani has a lead. Ruben Chariot is going along with him. Chariot, when we got over to Utica College and pulled the lead away, Lazarus Nayakaraka is the third man in that group, I should note for you, but he is starting to tail off at the two-man run. It looked like Chariot was going to start really falling off, and he did. That allowed Kamani to come up and to move into first place. But Chariot has come back strong. He looked like he was flailing for a while, but he has come back very strong, trafficking a little bit as we are on Whitesboro Street. We had a really good time at 7 miles of 33 minutes on the nose, and they're steadily along. The third place man, Nayakaraka, just doesn't have very much left and has dropped off considerably. He's about now 30 to 40 yards behind the top two runners. They are moving smooth. They are moving very, very easily. It's a beautifully cool breeze that we have here coming through West Utica. This could make for a very interesting finish as they start to come your way, Jason.
Thanks, Tom. You know, we're looking at it right now, and it looks like, I mean, if Ruben has got a kick left, he's going to have to make it soon, because Kamani's got a great stride right now, Jim, and he knows this course.
Yes, Jason, I think we just passed the 9-mile marker there. Interestingly, earlier this week, Chariot outkicked Kamani. Obviously, Kamani's the man with the experience here. He's got some very, very great speed in his legs. I wouldn't want to be Ruben Chariot trying to run down Joseph Kamani at this point in the race, but who knows? He's still got a way to go, but I think we're in for a thrilling finish.
Well, we're about 2 minutes and 20 seconds away from what would be a course record. Kamani holds it. Wouldn't be surprised if he broke it. We'll see what happens here, though. They should start to come into focus at the top of the hill here pretty soon. Now, we see Chariot just staying just behind Kamani. If he's got a kick, you're going to see it within the next 30 to 40 seconds, I would imagine, because you don't want to wait to the finish line to try and outrun Joseph Kamani.
No, I wouldn't think so, but Chariot's enacting exactly the right tactic now. As once Kamani went by him, he backed off, gathered himself, and then just tucked him behind. Let Kamani do the work, just sit in, relax, and wait and gauge your effort, and hopefully make a jump on the leader when he's least expecting it. When that's going to be, I think you're right, it'll probably be in the next 30 to 40 seconds, but at this point, it's really anybody's race.
Looks like Ruben Chariot's making a move here, possibly. He's getting up a little bit closer. And you wonder, is Kamani running out of gas?
I really don't know, Jason. It's tough to say at this point. They both look very comfortable to me. I think that what we'll see is Chariot make one move. He'll try and go by as hard as he possibly can. Then it's up to Kamani just to see if he can hang with him and then make another move. It's all going to be ebb and flow, parry and thrust, as they say in fencing circles. Is this Kamani making a move? It's a very, very exciting finish.
It certainly is. We're going down to the wire on this one. 42.54 is the course record. We're at 42.15.16. They're getting ready to come down the hill, and we should be able to see them any second. In fact, as I turn around in our broadcast position, we see the truck starting to pull off the course. Kamani still hanging on. Here we go. We're 20 seconds away from a course record. I don't think he's going to make a course record. Look at this. Kamani and Chariot. Kamani just took a look.
Chariot's moving wide to make his kick. Here he goes. It's all about leg turnover at this point. They're shoulder to shoulder. This is one of the most thrilling finishes you could hope. There goes Ruben Chariot. Can Kamani hang with him?
Chariot took the lead, and it looks as if. Could it be? Yes. Ruben Chariot wins the 2000 Boilermaker. His first time here in Utica. What a finish we had, folks. He outkicked them in the last couple hundred yards.
Unbelievable finish.
What a race that was.
43.05 on the clock. That's an unofficial time. Just 5 seconds outside the winning time last year, but an exceptional race. Ruben Chariot outkicks the man with all the speed, Joseph Kamani. How could we have predicted that?
Well, you couldn't have predicted it any better than you did, Jim. I don't know how you did it.
Could hardly have
I know how you did it. You're the man. That's why. Defending champion John Carrere just about ready to cross the finish line. There he is now.
Well, that's still an exceptional run for John Carrere.
Peachtree champion Elena Emery just crossed the finish line right there. He didn't fare too bad. We thought he'd drop off a little bit because he's used to running a 10K. Only his second race here. But you have to give props to Ruben Chariot. What a race he ran. He took the lead going down Champlain Ave. He let Joseph Kamani, we assume he would let Joseph Kamani make his move. Yes. And then what a kick he had there the last couple hundred yards, Jim.
Well, it was all about tactics and composure. I mean, Chariot didn't panic. Once Kamani went by him there with 3/4 of a mile or so to go, he really just relaxed. He knew what he was doing.
That, of course, is Catherine DeReba getting ready to make her way down to the finish line. The most exciting race I think we've ever seen here in Utica, really.
Oh, I think so. I mean, two runners who were equally capable of taking the race. Joseph Kamani with all the experience, Ruben Chariot, the new kid on the block, and it really just came down to raw speed and talent and guts and aggression.
This is something we've never had before, folks. We've never had a bike following the women's winner, and obviously there's a winner because there is no one else in sight. Catherine DeReba getting ready to come down the hill.
And we've had some wonderful shots of Catherine all the way through this race, and we can just see how comfortable she looks. She's truly at the very top level of international distance running, and we can see her close up here on the streets of Utica.
Her stride is excellent. Her form is excellent. Could you expect anything more from a Boston Marathon winner, and it looks like it's going to be back-to-back Boilermakers for Catherine.
Oh yeah, I mean she knows the course obviously, as Joseph Kamani has. She just took the race from the gun, never allowed anybody to challenge her, even though we saw Yuko Aramori there early in the race. But it was really just very early at that point. Then Catherine just surged through the hills, glided down the hills, and she's been entirely on her own, except for a few of the male competitors, but she's been entirely on her own among the females from virtually gun to tape.
She's flying, and her time last year, which of course was a Boilermaker record, was 48:52. That's the course record. She's got a shot at it, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, she's just under 3 minutes away from that time. She could well be very close to her own course record, which is an average, believe it or not, of 5:15 per mile. That's really moving.
Oh yeah, it is. It certainly is. Boy, wouldn't it be great to see her break the record again this year?
Oh, it would. It'd be wonderful, and she's certainly capable of doing it.
Followed closely by Graham Bell, competing in the Masters division. Graham Bell from Canada.
That's Catherine DeReba. Nobody in sight as she's coming down. We'll remind you that Ruben Chariot is your Boilermaker champion, followed by Joseph Kamani, unofficial time 43:05, just 5 seconds off of last year's winner, John Career, as Catherine DeReba making her way downhill now as she's getting ready. Don't think she's going to break the course record from where she is right now, but she's coming in. Masters champion from last year, John Tuttle, coming across the finish line now. I can't tell if he has won this year.
He's 46:58 on the clock. That's outside his winning time last year of 46:17.
I'm not sure if he is your champion. Couldn't quite hear it over the loudspeaker. He may be. He may have won again this year, but we have not heard definitely on that. John Tuttle, 46:58, last year's Masters champion, is across the line. We're watching Catherine DeReba now. She is your leader. These are pictures we've never had before. We've never been able to follow the women's runner throughout the race, and through the grace of God and, of course, our engineers here at WKTV and our crack staff, Dane Kistner, Tom McNichol, and our crack crew, they have made it possible for us to bring you Don Nahumik, of course. If I list the whole thing, we'll be doing it, and Fran and everybody else that are riding the bikes. Our great photographer, Kirk Chupai, getting the great shots here. She's at the top of the hill now. Watch her be coming down here shortly. There she is. And there's Kirk Chupai getting some close-up shots of her on the bike. Here she comes, Catherine DeReba. Her time last year, 48:52. She's got a very good chance of beating.
She's really close to it, Jason.
I think she's going to beat it.
I think she's really got a shot at it.
Here she comes. She's going to beat a new course record here, folks. Back-to-back Boilermaker champion and back-to-back course record beater.
And it's remarkable that she ran the entire race on her own. I mean, to run a time trial and still set a course record is unbelievable.
Let's watch the time here, Jim. 48:45 unofficially. That is a new course record here at the Utica Boilermaker. Catherine DeReba, back-to-back Boilermaker champion. 48:45. Beat it by 7 seconds, if I do my math right, where I went to high school.
You're the math whiz. Jason, that was an exceptional run. 7 seconds under her course record of last year. You're right, back-to-back victories, back-to-back course records. That's the way to run.
It certainly is. We're going to watch and see if we can find another women's second-place finisher. Nobody even close right now. Helen Kamayo-Kipkoski is about to cross. She will be the second-place finisher this year at Boilermaker. There she is. 49:34 is her running time.
And that's still a great run.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, she was well beaten, but that 49:34 is a very, very fast time.
Nothing to sneeze at. Helen Kamayo-Kipkoski is your second-place finisher at the 2000 Boilermaker in the women's division, as we see many, many local runners now making their way down the golf course.
We have Patrick Hamill from Rome in New York coming down the finish
As you can
line.
see, many, many local runners enjoying coming up, getting ready to make the turn by Utica College We're gonna take a super quick break here for you. We're gonna have some interviews with the winners, plus all the local runners you could shake a stick at right here as News Channel 2's Olympic coverage, Olympic winning coverage of the 2000 Boilermaker continues.
Well, Mr. Lincoln, what do you think of our job offer?
No, I'm not interested.
Dr. Franklin?
Thank you, but no.
Professor Einstein?
I must decline.
If you're an employer, you know finding the best employees can be difficult. Offer the WISE program. All your employees' personal insurance needs taken care of right at work with quality coverage from Utica National Insurance and your local Utica agent.
Sorry, George. No WISE program.
Hi folks, Tony Hathaway from Utica's only 5-star Jeep dealership, E.J. Peters Jeep Hyundai, with some great deals on Jeep Grand Cherokee and Cherokee at hundreds under factory invoice, or 2000 Hyundai Sonata for only $14,769, fully equipped with dual-side airbags. How about a 2000 Hyundai Accent and an unbelievable $8769, both with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Looking for pre-owned? We got pre-owned from $87 a month right here at E.J. Peters on Commercial Drive, the only dealership you'll ever need.
As thousands of the best runners anywhere will tell you, there is a difference in 15K races. From its awesome start to its dramatic finish, the Boilermaker leads the way in excitement, community pride, and sheer commitment to what it takes to go the extra mile. As thousands of Central New Yorkers will also tell you, there's a difference in insurance agencies, too. Gilroy, Kernan, and Gilroy. Proud to be a major sponsor of the Boilermaker, and proud to be leading the way in insurance since 1904.
Total, now with 100% calcium. Total is the only food that has 100% of the daily value of calcium in a single serving. Even before you add the milk. Total, now with 100% calcium.
And we are back at the 2000 Boilermaker as News Channel 2's coverage continues on this beautiful day. We did not get a men's course record, but we certainly did get a women's course record. And you know what? I have to brag because my man Jim O'Brien called it. He called the number 1, number 2 men's finishers, and he called the top 3 women's finishers. So we're in great shape. Ruben Chariot, your winner here at the 2000 Boilermaker Road Race at a time of 43:05. And Jim, a very, very good time for Ruben.
Oh, it was wonderful. I mean, I think that the competition and the conditions told. Maybe in the early going there
let's get a shot at the finish line, folks. Bill Rogers coming across here, getting ready to come down. Bill Rogers, here he comes, folks. You gotta love him. And his time, 53:27, unofficial. Unofficial time of 53:27. We are going to go now to Ryan Nobles, who has the men's winner, Ruben Chariot. Jim picked him. We talked to him yesterday. He said he was going to win, and he turned out and he did win. Ryan, back to you.
That's right. Ruben Chariot joins us right now, and yesterday you were pretty confident. You thought you were going to win. Were you happy with the way you ran today?
Firstly, thank to race organizers, the people of Utica, and those participants who participated today road race. This is my second time to run 15K since start to racing.
That's pretty impressive to only your second time to win. It was real close down there during the stretch. You know, it was real close down towards the end.
Yes.
Were you worried coming down the stretch when you made that final kick?
I was trying to open. The cup, but the man was very strong. That is why you see us close. Yes.
Yeah, he's an expert at this course, and he was one of the people you thought might win.
Yes.
You thought he might win this race, so to beat him has to feel pretty good.
I was still strong. That is why I'm waiting to come to race.
Hey, that's pretty impressive. Ruben Chariot, Jim, you predicted him to win. He said he was too strong coming down the stretch, and I think everybody would have to agree with that.
No doubt, Ryan. Thanks very much for that interview, and boy,
thank you very much.
We knew he was going to be good. We knew that when he made that kick at the bottom of the hill that he wasn't quite out there yet because Joseph Kamani knows the course, and he caught up with him, but he had enough left at the end to take over.
Yeah, he really did everything right. I mean, Joseph Kamani ran a great race, but it's when you're up against speed like that.
If we can get a quick shot of the finish line, Jim, I don't mean to interrupt. Diane Laguerre, Masters champion, back-to-back. She just crossed the finish line. Would have been over on the other side over there as she crossed. Diane Laguerre from Montreal, two-time, back-to-back Boilermaker Masters women's champion. So, boy, the women are doing great here this year, aren't they?
Great. The defending champions are really doing something. Her time unofficially 55:23, I believe it was.
55:23. That's unofficial, folks. We'll get official times for you as soon as they're printed out for us. The Boilermaker crew here, great at doing that and getting us the information as quickly as possible. So once again, the Women's Masters winner is Diane Laguerre from Montreal. She won it last year. She won it again this year. Her time last year, I'm looking for it, and I can't find it off the top of my head.
55:48, I believe, Jason. But the interesting thing is that Diane Laguerre is actually 49 years old. She's at the very top end of her age group, so to dominate in that age division is really quite something.
We're going to go to the media tent. We're going to talk with second place finisher Joseph Kamani. Ryan has him standing by right now. Ryan?
Well, you guys said this may be one of the best finishes of all time, and the other half of that great finish is Joseph Kamani, who knows this course pretty well. What was the difference towards the end there? Was Ruben just too strong?
Yeah, I think this year is different than the other year have been running here, because we have tough guys, we have more guys here. I think I want to push, but instead of running very hard, because I know everybody was in good shape, I decided to push a bit and then relax until the last 400 I didn't have to kick.
Were you impressed with how well Ruben ran today? I mean, not too many people know about him. Did you know what a great runner he was?
Yeah, I know the guy was in good shape because he was here. He won Bruce today, and he won a couple of races here. And, you know, he has running very well in track. I know he is a good kicker.
What's it like for those of us who don't know when you're coming down the stretch like that and it's real close?
You know, the problem is Kenya, you know, we like to push. We don't want to stay one another. And we know we were beaten in P3 by Ethiopia guys. So we decided to push until it's better for us, one of the Kenya, to win this race.
So an impressive finish. Joseph Kamani comes in second, but it was close right down the stretch. And as you could say, down to the end, it just came to the kick of Ruben Chariot to win it. Jim and Jason?
Thanks, guys. We're back on the course now, right around Utica College. And boy, you know, it's a heck of a race today. We had a great finish. I want to talk about the women's champion for just a moment, because Catherine Dareba beat the course record once again, as we see more people coming across the finish line. Whoa, don't get dizzy there, folks. Great shot there at St. Luke's. That's a new camera shot for us this year. And people running down Champlain Ave. But I want to talk about the women's division, because we set another course record this year. Catherine Dareba just totally dominated this race. Helen Kamayo-Kipkoski, not a bad day, 49:34, Jim, but boy, yeah. Catherine looked good today.
What can you say about Catherine Dareba? Just to illustrate just the quality of competitor that she is. 1998, Catherine Dareba competed in 21 races, won 16 of them. In 1999, competed 18 times, won 13. This year, who knows, she may even go beyond that. I mean, she's just dominant on the road. She really is an exceptional competitor.
We also have some other things we're going to talk to you about when we come back on the 2000 Boilermaker coverage right here on News Channel 2. Don't go away. We're the best in the business, and we'll bring it to you right after the break. Stay with us.
Marcy Carpet introduces Floor Covering Plus. Not only can you save money when you buy floor covering at Marcy Carpet, you get a whole lot more. Like the largest team of floor covering experts, like professional expert installation from the best in the business, like the biggest selection of in-stock floor covering on sale now. Let our designers guarantee that your selection matches your room in style and color. Nobody else can offer Floor Covering Plus except Marcy Carpet Outlet and Design Center, Route 49 in Marcy.
Hi folks, Tony Hathaway from Utica's only 5-star Jeep dealership, E.J. Peters Jeep Hyundai, with some great deals on Jeep Grand Cherokee and Cherokee at hundreds under factory invoice, or 2000 Hyundai Sonata for only $14,769, fully equipped with dual side airbags. How about a 2000 Hyundai Accent and an unbelievable $8769, both with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Looking for pre-owned? We got pre-owned from $87 a month right here at E.J. Peters on Commercial Drive, the only dealership you'll ever need.
As thousands of the best runners anywhere will tell you, there is a difference in 15K races. From its awesome start to its dramatic finish, the Boilermaker leads the way in excitement, community pride, and sheer commitment to what it takes to go the extra mile. As thousands of Central New Yorkers will also tell you, there's a difference in insurance agencies too. Gilroy, Kernan, and Gilroy, proud to be a major sponsor of the Boilermaker and proud to be leading the way in insurance since 1904.
The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Doctors and staff working together to provide you with quality personal health care. Feel confident that you and your family's wellness are in the right hands. Private physicians' offices for patients' personal care. Just remember, the St. Elizabeth Medical Group has locations throughout the Mohawk Valley. Call 734-WELL for the office near you. The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Healthcare near you.
And we are live back here at the 2000 Boilermaker. News Channel 2's coverage continues. Well, we got another at least hour left, so you know we've got plenty to talk about. And Jim O'Brien joins me as always. And Jim, this year's group, again, a great race. Just if you're just tuning in, Ruben Chariot, Jim's pick, went on to win this year's Boilermaker with a time of 43:05. And Jim, we saw a great race at the end, didn't we?
Oh, we did. It was as close as it could possibly be. I'm guessing there was only a second between Ruben Chariot and Joseph Kamani. Chariot seems to like close finishes. Last week he was 2 seconds behind the winner in Peachtree in Atlanta. He placed third, 2 seconds down. Here he's won by a second in one of the most remarkable finishes we've ever seen here at the Utica Boilermaker Road Race.
And you should see the shots of a lot of our local runners here in Utica making their way. Oh, what a great shot that is, coming right down Whitesboro Street to cross the finish line. Also, Joseph Kamani, he came in second. And interesting about Joseph, he had that lead, but you just kind of knew that Ruben was going to do a kick there towards the end. And Joseph Kamani, second race in a row, he was second by a second.
Oh yeah, I mean, he must be trying to figure out what he's doing wrong. It's not much, granted, to lose two major road races by a total of 2 seconds. I mean, he's really back to the form that he showed in '97, among the top road racers on the circuit right now. I'm sure he's going to go on to even bigger and better things, but this is still a great race for Joseph Kamani. He just came up against a guy who had more wheels, as they say, in the stretch.
Ed Bradley from New Hartford, a wheelchair racer, just crossed the finish line, getting ready to come across the finish line. Great job by him, as always. And we'll give you some other results. Catherine DeRaber, as we've said, is set a course record today, finishing first for the women's Masters. Diane Laguerre from Montreal, once again she wins. And you know what, I have to say, Jim, you've been right on every single time. You said Andrew Masai had a really good chance to win this race over John Tuttle, and sure enough, he did. He is the Masters winner tonight, Andrew Masai.
Well, Masai is a world-class competitor. As an open runner, he finished in the top 10 at the World Cross Country Championships 4 times. I mean, as runners know, the World Cross Country is the definitive distance race. It's unbelievable in its intensity.
And he's just a Masters runner, too. He just turned 40.
He's just turned 40 on the 13th of January this year. So far, he won the Sallie Mae 10K. That's in Washington, D.C. He won the Peachtree 10K. That's in Atlanta, Georgia, earlier this week. Now he's won the Boilermaker Road Race. He's undefeated so far this year. He's a remarkable competitor.
He certainly is. And I know John Tuttle said it was going to be tough for him to win. He could virtually probably break his record from last year and still lose, and apparently he did. I mean, he did not get the win, but Andrew Masai is your Masters winner. And of course your women's Masters, Diane Laguerre. Just to get you caught up on the wheelchair finishers, Saul Mendoza, boy, what a race he ran today. He blew away the competition. We thought it might be close between him and Creek Chabord. It was in the golf course, but I guess Saul loves those downhills, and he made some distance and took it again. He's really a great competitor, isn't he, Jim?
Oh, he really is. And I guess it was one of those situations where experience really counted. And the commitment, of course. He was second here last year. He didn't want to be second again. He really wanted to take this race, and he certainly did it. He just dominated.
We're going to head to the media tent now where Catherine Dereba is standing by with our good friend Ryan Nobles. And Ryan, she's got to be excited. Back-to-back wins.
Let me tell you something. There was no more dominant of a performance, and with the woman standing right next to me, Catherine Dereba, did you expect to win by so much today?
Well, I was not hoping to win by that much, but I thank God that I did it. The climate was very nice, and the competition was very good, and the climate was very much favorable, and that made me to run as fast as I have done today.
Now, the field probably wasn't as strong as it normally is, and sometimes that doesn't help a runner in your situation. Did you feel like you were running against yourself today? Were you competing against yourself?
Well, I was competing against my time. I was trying to see if I can break my own time, and that helps me to see how far I have gone with my training. If I beat my time, I say, okay, maybe I'm improving. If I don't beat my time, I say, what's the problem? I go back to my training program and see what I can change or adjust.
You said this was an Olympic year, so you expected people to be in tip-top shape.
Yeah, each and everyone is in her top shape.
Did you expect to break a record 2 years in a row? You said you wanted to better your time, but to break a record, that's got to feel incredible.
Yeah, well, I always look like wanting to beat my time, but I didn't know that I can break the course record in 2 years a row.
It's got to feel incredible. Catherine Dereba, she's kind of laughing. She feels a little humble in the fact that she really just destroyed the field today, but she has a lot to feel proud of. Jason and Jim, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Ryan. A great interview, boy. It's great to hear Catherine. We talked to her yesterday, and she's so happy to be back here in Utica. She really loves the fact that the fans come out and support all the runners. You know, they're not just cheering for one particular runner or one favored runner. They want to cheer for all of them. Look at all the great runners coming through Utica College right now. They're enjoying themselves, Jim. And you know, this is what the Boilermaker is all about, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. And of course, many of our elite runners feel the very same way. They know the crowds are out there to cheer them, but they also cheer the people who are running 6-minute miles, 7-minute miles, 8-minute miles. There they are. It's a wonderful sight.
It's a great shot by our helicopter crew. Awesome, awesome shot here. Another shot that we haven't had in a bit. We got is by St. Luke's there as they're coming up by St. Luke's. I got to give props once again to our engineering and production staff. They have done an excellent job. Got to thank some of our sales staff as well. They're here helping out today. Everybody, the whole station is here. We come out in droves for this, and look at all the people just sitting here in our broadcast booth, Jim. We are trapped because there are so many people here enjoying this great race today. We had a record time in the women's finish. We had some great records set today. Lori Stevens, by the way, we talked about wheelchair, Saul Mendoza. Lori Stevens, back-to-back Boilermaker wins for her. Just a great job by her today.
Yeah, it's a wonderful job. It's been a great day, as we said, for defending champions. It's
John Career did not fare as well as he was hoping. Did not run Peachtree this year. A little bit of a disappointment, you think, for John Career, thinking that you know, he did so well here last year.
Yeah, he seems to have run into a few problems since he won here last year. He hasn't been as dominant as one might have expected. But I think that's you know, a good run. It's a good step back to where he wants to be. So I think we're going to see bigger and better things from him in the coming months and the coming seasons.
Exactly. We're going to go to Ryan Nobles, who is standing by with Andrew Masai, your 2000 Masters winner. Ryan.
Well, they've broke plenty of records today, and I'm here with another record breaker, Andrew Masai, who breaks the record in the Masters division. I asked Catherine this question. I'll ask the same to you. Did you expect to break a record today?
For me today, even after victory, I didn't train because I had traveled a lot from Kenya to Europe to here, and then I stay one day no training, and then on Wednesday I travel back to Albuquerque. Only I train one day. Really, I was not expecting that I will break a record, but only because always I like to stay with my friends, with the young friends. Always they push me. The time I reach in 6 miles, I say, oh, now I can leave them to go, because if I continue to go with them, I will not finish.
Yeah.
And then to calm down, I was not sure if I'm going to break the record, but for me, I'm very happy, because in this age, you know, it's very hard to run such fast course like this.
Now, the Masters field was particularly strong this year. To do so well against that field, that must make you feel well too.
Yeah, because there is only one person I was fearing. I was fearing my friend Karori, because I know him. I know him sometimes. He's very strong, and That is only the one I fear, because they immediately when we start this, when I look back, I didn't see him in 1 mile, and then I stay home, and then I say I have to keep on going with this young man in front of mine. But the field was very strong, really.
So he uses the young guys to keep him on the record. 44:56 was his time, the original record. 46:14, an impressive run in the Masters and the women. It seems like every race was an impressive race today. Jason and Jim, back to you.
It certainly was, Ryan. I just got the times in front of me. I'm shocked. Andrew Masai shattered the record. He beat John Tuttle's Masters time last year by almost a good minute and a half, almost 2 minutes. Unbelievable. He came in at 44:56. That is a Masters record. Of course, Diane Laguerre, Masters winner, she did a heck of a job today as well. Losing my voice here, we're getting so excited. Diane Laguerre came in at 55:12, so she once again is your Masters champion. You know, Jim, as we see the runners start to dwindle down a little bit as they make their way around Utica College, and I know for my perspective, as I'm running through here, I'm taking my time, enjoying the sights. You really can't explain what kind of feeling you have with all these people cheering you on. And you've run in a lot of races and you've done a lot of things. Have you ever seen the kind of community support that we see here in Utica?
You know, I really haven't, Jason, and you're right, I've run in many, many races in many parts of the country. Utica is unique in the amount of community involvement at every single level, from the spectators to the corporate sponsors to the volunteers to the TV station right here. I've never seen anything like it, and you can sense that throughout the race. It really engenders a spirit and a sense of community that I don't think you see anywhere else.
And we're going to keep an eye on the next 20 minutes or so. We're looking for some of our Go the Distance runners to come down. I understand that Ryan Nobles is among royalty right now. Joining him is Frank Shorter, distance running Hall of Famer. And there he is. Ryan, what's going on?
Boy, it's been a great day for me. It's not often you get to stand next to a legend and have a conversation with him. Frank,
legend is still standing, by the way.
It's got to have been an emotional week for you. Just take us back to last night, the Distance Running Hall of Fame and Steve Prefontaine. How did that feel?
I was able to introduce Steve's sister, Linda, who accepted his plaque, entering him into the National Distance Running Hall of Fame. And what I tried to do was convey through me to the people there my connection with Steve. He was my friend, my training partner, and my competitor as well. And it was a very emotional time for all of us. But I think it started off what turned out to be a wonderful weekend, because the high that began last night continued on through today.
It seemed like you were having fun. We saw you in a couple shots. Just that, you know, what's your attitude when you come into a race like that? Is it just to have fun?
Well, today it was, because I knew it would be a very emotional weekend for me. And I'm doing a lot of other work. I'm chairman of the board of the new agency that's going to take over all drug testing for all Olympic sports for performance-enhancing drugs, the illegal ones. So I've been working on that, and my focus has been elsewhere. But it's always fun to be back there in the pack, especially to see the surprise of the people that run by me and do a double take and go like this. But I got to pass a few of them back at the end, because I always enjoy running down the hill into the finish.
Last question here, and what's it like to have, you know, is it like a reunion for you guys every year to have Bill Rogers and all the greats come back every year?
Oh yeah, and Bill's wonderful. I mean, he's the example of how you can continue to compete at a very high level. Although, as you saw today, the Masters competition is almost competing with the Open runners at this point. And so for us, as we get over 50, yeah, we're making the transition, but you know, we emerged from the pack to be good. It's nothing for us to go back into the pack and have fun, because we had fun to start with.
Man, that's what's all about, having fun. And Jason, I know you saw some of that video last night from that emotional ceremony at the National Distance Running Hall of Fame. Frank Shorter, a big part of that. We'll send that back up to you guys.
He certainly was. And Frank, thanks for joining us, and thanks for all your help. Every time Frank comes up here, he always takes the time on Friday along with Bill Rogers and takes the time to talk to us, and we really appreciate that as we see the sea of people making their way across the finish line. So let's do some recaps here as Jim and I get ready to depart, and we get ready to usher in Bill Warden, our man on the scene. He will take you the rest of the way up until 10 o'clock, and then we will join Wimbledon. Just a great time here at the Utica Boilermaker as we look at the great sunshine here. We're going to wrap things up, both Jim and I. First, the men's winner, Ruben Chariot, 43.05, finished just a second or so ahead of Joseph Kamani. 3 seconds to be exact, if you want to be particular about it. It was a great race today, was it not, Jim?
Oh yeah, it was a great race. I mean, we saw tactics, we saw courage, we saw people being cautious, we saw people throwing caution to the wind. It was really an inspiring race, I would say. Wonderful race.
Yep, and your other winners, Catherine DeReba took first place for the women course record. Men's Masters winner Andrew Masai, Women's Masters Diane Laguerre, and Saul Mendoza and Lori Stevens, your respective winners for the wheelchair event. For James O'Brien and myself, Jason Polish, our coverage is over. Bill is coming up next, so don't touch that dial. We still have plenty to come here on the 2000 Boilermaker coverage on News Channel 2. We bid farewell. Make sure you stay tuned.
Hi folks, Tony Hathaway from Utica's only 5-star Jeep dealership, E.J. Peters Jeep Hyundai, with some great deals on Jeep Grand Cherokee and Cherokee at hundreds under factory invoice, or 2000 Hyundai Sonata for only $14,769, fully equipped with dual-side airbags. How about a 2000 Hyundai Accent and an unbelievable $8769, both with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Looking for pre-owned? We got pre-owned from $87 a month right here at E.J. Peters on Commercial Drive, the only dealership you'll ever need.
As thousands of the best runners anywhere will tell you, there is a difference in 15K races. From its awesome start to its dramatic finish, the Boilermaker leads the way in excitement, community pride, and sheer commitment to what it takes to go the extra mile. As thousands of Central New Yorkers will also tell you, there's a difference in insurance agencies too. Gilroy, Kernan, and Gilroy, proud to be a major sponsor of the Boilermaker and proud to be leading the way in insurance since 1904.
The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Doctors and staff working together to provide you with quality personal health care. Feel confident that you and your family's wellness are in the right hands. Private physicians' offices for patients' personal care. Just remember, the St. Elizabeth Medical Group has locations throughout the Mohawk Valley. Call 734-WELL for the office near you. The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Healthcare near you.
Marcy Carpet introduces Floor Covering Plus. Not only can you save money when you buy floor covering at Marcy Carpet, you get a whole lot more. Like the largest team of floor covering experts, like professional expert installation from the best in the business, like the biggest selection of in-stock floor covering on...
Reed, I mean, you've been coming to this race for many years, and as far as race directors go, I mean, are we lucky to have him? And
oh yeah, he was race director of the year. And there are thousands of races. I'm sure you see other races in New York State, in this area, in Syracuse, you know, Albany, all throughout the state. And but to be chosen as race director of the year, that's a terrific honor, you know. And so all the years of success for the race, you know, he's a great guy. He has great spirit, you know, and the whole community does here. And that's what makes a great event.
Is it surprising to see somebody have a post like that for 23 years? Do you see that a lot in your sport?
So, no, not really, but I think these people who are sort of visionaries, and I think Earl was sort of a visionary way back 24 years ago, you know, they're the guys that kind of did the nitty-gritty work in the beginning, and some people got around him and believed in him, and then others got involved. Now it's unstoppable, you know. It's strong, and it's always going to be strong.
It's incredible. Bill Rogers somehow seems to bring everything together and just say the right words each and every time, and he had another great performance here at the Boilermaker. Bill, I think you'd have to agree.
Salute.
Absolutely. I tell you, I am so thrilled, Ryan, to be sitting here and watching Bill Rogers and having the opportunity to meet him, and Frank Shorter. I can remember years ago when I was still young in broadcasting, about 23, 24 years ago, and I used to watch these guys when they ran in the big races, you know, in the Boston Marathon, the Olympics and stuff like that, and I just never thought, what an amazing world this is, huh? I never thought I would actually sit down and meet these guys in person. You know, somebody asked me if I would ever go on to leave the area and go on in broadcasting. Are you kidding? You haven't got the money to get me out of here. This is a beautiful, beautiful area. Look at this guy right here, running backwards in the Boilermaker. I was down there when he hit the finish, when he hit the starting line. He's got little mirrors on. So he's got little rear view mirrors so he can see what's going on behind him. He is running backwards. Now, I don't know where he is on the course, but I'll be amazed if he runs this whole course backwards. I mean, that'll be a first right there. So the Boilermaker is a race of firsts. It's just constantly evolving year after year after year. Look at that shot. How great is that? A shot overhead, ladies and gentlemen, looking down on the course. The Boilermaker Road Race 19. Wow, that's just amazing. 9,600 runners, I think it was, at last count. This is what it's all about, everybody. Boilermaker 2000. You know, I can remember when Earl Reed told me when he and a handful of runners started down Holland Avenue years ago, and they were just out for a run. That's how this race started. They were just out running. You know, there were 3 of them, I believe, and they ran into Steve Rosecrans. God bless his soul, he's passed away now. But Steve Rosecrans, who we dedicated this race to last year, and they ran into him, and he was running. They say, hey, why don't you run with us, Steve? And so that's how this whole thing evolved. It came about like that. The first year, they set up a race with 800 runners, which I think is pretty astounding. That, of course, is what our 5K run is this morning, that training run. Now, that's just a training run. It's the first year for it. And the nice thing about that is that these racers that are in the 5K, many of them, for most of them, it's the first time. They've never run the Boilermaker at all. There's no big prizes in this. They each get a pin when it's over with. But what it is, a chance for them to find out what their personal best actually is. One of the big thrills for me personally in this race this year is Missy Kaiser. Melissa Kaiser, a lot of you may remember I interviewed her on the Citron Health Report about a year ago. Melissa was in a tragic accident, terrible accident, and she lost the use of her legs. But boy, I'll tell you, she hasn't lost the use of her willpower because she is an amazing young woman. 28 years old, and she is in the Boilermaker race this year, in the wheelchair race, and she wanted to be in it because she was in a regular wheelchair, but when she completed this race, she was going to get a brand new racing wheelchair from a local company. I think that's really neat. By the way, Missy Kaiser just finished. She just came over the finish line just a little while ago. There's Deborah. All right, she's one of our people. We've got several people from News Channel 2 running in this race. I understand Tim Julian is also, Mayor Tim Julian, I guess we better get used to calling him that. Mayor Tim Julian has also been in the race, came in just a little over an hour, and we're going to go to Ryan Nobles, who's in the media tent right now, and I guess Jerry Lawson is in the media tent with Susan.
Well, Bill, yes, I am joined by our own local legend. This is Jerry Lawson. Now, you did pretty well today, and this is coming out of a tough Olympic trial for you.
Right. I was kind of pleased with the performance today. I really think a lot of it was coming back to Utica and running in the Boilermaker, which to me is really a big boost for me. The community's been very supportive since I started running. I'm going to college here and growing up not too far away. And every time I come back here, no matter what kind of shape I'm in, I just really run above where I thought I was going to.
So this was one of the highlights of now you just said it motivated you to do something after a difficult trial. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the trials was a very tough experience for a lot of people, and for me especially. I just really had an abysmal race and really been unmotivated to get into training and just come into here and run the race, and now it's really done a lot for me mentally to get me back into training.
Now this is one of the rare events where actually local people, as we see on our screens, people that from all over the country can run with legends like yourself, like Catherine Dureba, like everybody that's been working so hard, and these elite world-class runners. How do you feel about running with everyday Joes?
I think it's great, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about running is, you know, there's no real specialty. You know, the only thing you need are shoes and your ability and your desire. And it's not like you need a special court or a special course. You know, like you can't play golf with Tiger Woods, you can't play basketball with Michael Jordan, but you can line up with some of the best racers in the world every weekend.
And so our own very Jerry Lawson, I hear that you finished 35th overall, so that's big congratulations for you. Okay. When did you feel the best and the strongest during your race?
Actually, we hit about the 8 mile, but about 7.5 I started feeling bad, and then we hit 8 miles, and I really started, just like somebody flipped a switch, and I just took off. So I was surprised, but it was great to finish that way.
Is that the runner's high?
I have no idea. I hope if it is, I get it through the whole race next year.
All right. Thank you, Jerry, for joining us. And as you can see, more runners are filing in. And this is one of the best events that our community can ever offer. And it's actually one of the rare times that you can run with the very best in our world. Bill and Jay, why don't I send it back to you guys?
All right, thank you, Susan. And there you see a whole host of runners still making their way down the course. By the way, we need to mention that when you see those folks with the orange tank tops, the ones that say News Channel 2, those are the going the distance runners that we profiled during this last several weeks prior to the Boilermaker Road Race. Just to take a quick look at some of the winners this year and how they placed according to last year, I thought it was really interesting. Now, Ruben Chariot, of course, is the winner of this year's Boilermaker Road Race in the men's division. I do not have him listed on my list for last year, but I do have a Kenneth Chariot, so I'd have to check that out. But interestingly enough, Joseph Kamani came in number 2 this year. He placed 4th last year. He won 4th place last year. Lazarus Nayakaraka came in 3rd this year. He was 7th last year. So you see a lot of personal best times really improving this year for a lot of these people probably because of the weather. I think the racing experts could probably attest to a certain amount of that is due to the weather. David McCory came in 4th. David was 2nd last year in the Boilermaker. And John Career, who came in 5th this year, was number 1. He won last year's Boilermaker road race. So you see how some of those times have changed, and you see what's been going on with the running fields that have taken place this year. But just going over some of my notes here, I was looking at, once again, we talked about Tim Julian, the new Utica mayor, has run this race himself. What a fitting tribute to the Boilermaker. And I understand Tim is over in the media tent and with Susan as we speak. Susan?
Oh, look at who I'm joined with. This is our newest mayor, Tim Julian, and what a way to usher in your administration just by the biggest event in our area. Talk about how you felt.
Felt great out there, really did. The weather was fantastic. The people of Utica and the Utica area were, as usual, on the course, cheering people along, throwing water at people, throwing ice, sponges, orange slices. I mean, just a great event. Everything that makes this event fantastic was out there. Earl Reed, 23 years ago, what a great idea. What a great idea. Whoever would have thought.
Now, how proud does it make you that you're running it for the 9th time, that you're the newest mayor, and it's one of the biggest participations that we've ever seen?
Well, it's fantastic. And, you know, the fact that being mayor and being in it is just has nothing to do with it. I mean, I've done this 9 times in a row before I even dreamt of getting in politics, and I felt as though I was no more important than anyone else out there today who came out here to be in this great event.
What does it feel like to pound the pavement with one of the best runners in the world?
That's the great part about this sport, is that you can be in a race and you can go. There's not a lot of sports. I mean, if you have a baseball team, you can't say you played against the Yankees.
Right.
If you have a local a local bike racing team, you can't say I raced against Lance Armstrong. But something like this, you could say I raced against the best people in the world. You didn't do very well against them, but you were out there racing against them.
But you had a good time, an hour 15, I believe?
Somewhere around there, yeah, hour 15, hour 16.
Now, I understand, do people talk to you while you're racing? They know who you are. Do they say, this is phenomenal? What is the response that you get while you're out there?
I was pretty incognito today. I just out there, had fun. I cheered a lot of people along who were, feeling a little down along the way. You see people who are cramping up or something. You try to inspire them. It was just not as from the position, but just as a fellow runner out there, just having a good time. And that's the whole thing. You know going in pretty well you're not going to win, and you say, well, let's go out there and have a lot of fun. And we certainly did. People came out for it. We all had fun.
Now, is this the 9th and final, or is this 9th and counting?
Absolutely not. I can't stop now. This has got to keep going.
All right. Thanks a lot, Tim, for joining us, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to throw it out to Teresa, who's watching the runners as they pass by. Teresa.
Hey, Susan, you talk about inspiring. It is so inspiring out here. Let me tell you why. Because now the runners are coming through. The people that are determined to finish no matter what. Some of them have to walk because it's just a little hard. We're at a very grueling part of the course. But others are just determined that they're going to finish. They've set a pace. They're going to keep going. You can see we've got a little bit of a crowd now. Some people dwindling through. Not a large group of people like we saw a few minutes ago. People are still here cheering on. The spectators are still here. Now, I've seen a lot of interesting things as I was watching the people go by. I saw 4 members of the Marine Corps running by. They were carrying an American flag, the Marine Corps flag, a PWO flag, as they were making their way through. I also saw News Channel 2's Karen Huxtable. And if you work with Karen, you know just how important her family is. She very touching as she made her way around this corner here at Utica College. She stopped. Her kids are sitting over here. She stopped over there to give them all a kiss as she made her way through. So that's what really this is all about, and you get the essence of the spirit as you stand here at Utica College. The people as they make their way through, the crowds yelling and cheering, the music that I can hear way back in the background. Incredibly awesome. As you know, I'm having a great time out here. Really just enjoying it all. I want to send it back to Matt now. He is at the post-race party where I'm sure things are awesome there too, right, Matt?
Things are off to a great start down here, Teresa. I'm joined by Dan Connors, and Dan, you're a Syracuse native coming up here to run this race?
That's correct. My girlfriend lives here in Utica and thought I'd run today, and she's out. I'm trying to find her right now, as a matter of fact.
How was the race today?
It was awesome. Beautiful weather, great fan support, a lot of bands. We had a lot of fun out there.
This was your second time running?
Second time, 98 I ran it last, and got 79 minutes this time.
So you'll be coming back again, you think?
Definitely. This is a great run.
Really a fun race.
It was. I'd love to do it again next year.
Tell us about being in the sea of people out there on Culver Avenue to start the end.
Sure. I think people overall are just really glad to be here, and a lot of camaraderie, a lot of fun. I think the fans really made us get through the whole race, all the hills. It was awesome.
Terrific. Dan, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Enjoy. Have a great night. Again, a great time down here. We're just looking for people to come down here. We're going to interview tons of people. We have 2 more people coming on in here. Come on in, girls. What's your name?
I'm Adrian Katie.
Adrian, and what are you?
Jesse Reno.
So you guys ran, did you have a lot of fun today?
Yeah, we had a blast. Our favorite race.
How many times did you run this in?
This is my second year.
Second year, and yours?
My third.
Third year. And did we improve every year?
Yeah, it gets better and better.
Do you guys run together? Do you keep yourself pacing the whole time?
Yeah, we did. We came across holding hands.
Did you really? That's kind of nice. Kind of gives you good fam support. You gonna do this again next year?
Mm-hmm. You
Yeah,
bet.
absolutely. You're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Terrific. Go enjoy your ice cream, enjoy the beer as well.
Thanks.
Have a great time. Again, just wonderful people down here. They're all enjoying it. We're going to throw it back to you, Bill. We'll get back with more interviews in just a little while. Back to you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Matt. Good job out there. I have to tell you, it's really, the Boilermaker is really not so much about racing as it is about community. And that's really what it's been about since day one. But albeit it is a sanctioned running race, so that's why we have the elite runners here, of course. But the whole ambiance of this thing just is what makes it so exciting. Not only the community aspect of it, but the fact that it is a sanctioned race. We're going to be back with more of our live coverage of Boilermaker 2000 right after this.
Marcy Carpet introduces Floor Covering Plus. Not only can you save money when you buy floor covering at Marcy Carpet, you get a whole lot more. Like the largest team of floor covering experts, like professional expert installation from the best in the business, like the biggest selection of in-stock floor covering on sale now. Let our designers guarantee that your selection matches your room in style and color. Nobody else can offer Floor Covering Plus except Marcy Carpet Outlet and Design Center, Route 49 in Marcy.
You all have excellent backgrounds. What would it take for you to come work for us? President Lincoln?
We want the WISE program. All our personal insurance needs are taken care of right at work through payroll deduction.
Dr. Franklin?
It's very convenient. No bills at home, and we get life insurance, auto, home, boat, complete coverage.
General Washington?
It's offered by Utica National Insurance and your local Utica agent. Make the wise decision.
The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Doctors and staff working together to provide you with quality personal health care. Feel confident that you and your family's wellness are in the right hand. Private physicians' offices for patients' personal care. Just remember, the St. Elizabeth Medical Group has locations throughout the Mohawk Valley. Call 734-WELL for the office near you. The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Health care near you.
As thousands of the best runners anywhere will tell you, there is a difference in 15K races. From its awesome start to its dramatic finish, the Boilermaker leads the way in excitement, community pride, and sheer commitment to what it takes to go the extra mile. As thousands of Central New Yorkers will also tell you, there's a difference in insurance agencies, too. Gilroy, Kernan, and Gilroy. Proud to be a major sponsor of the Boilermaker, and proud to be leading the way in insurance since 1904.
Welcome back, everybody, to our live coverage of the Boilermaker 2000 road race. Our chopper right now actually is flying high above the post-race party. This is live coverage you see right now, the post-race party. Everybody's kind of graduating over to that area. Our own photographer, Keith Hunt, our videographer, is in that chopper right now. These are the pictures he's taking that you are seeing. If you could see a picture of him, he's got a harness on that you wouldn't believe, and he's strapped into this chopper and hanging out the side, literally, with his feet sitting on the running board, and he's sitting in the open doorway, something you could not pay me to do. So my hat is off to Keith Hunt. Some beautiful shots that he's getting as we fly over that post-race party. Well, more runners still making their way down the Boilermaker road race track as they come in toward the finish line. These are the community runners that you see. The ones that are near the end, they're not out necessarily to beat any big world records. They just want to be in the Boilermaker Road Race. And every one of them is just filled with heart for this community, and that's why they're doing it. They just love being in this event. It's part of what makes this event so special, not only here, but people that watch it around the world. They're just so excited to see a community that participates the way this one does. You see the last 3,000 or 4,000 people. And I mean, none of these probably have any world-shattering records or anything. They don't care. They're just enjoying themselves. They're having a wonderful time. And they're doing it for their own personal best. They've set their own records. And whether it be an hour plus or whatever it is, they're following the lead that they feel that they've had to do to get into this race. Each one of these people, no matter how far back in the race they are, have worked hard throughout the year to practice to be in the race, as well as we showed you on our going the distance specials that we did. It's such an exciting time, and this, of course, the 23rd running of the Utica Boilermaker Road Race. More and more people continuing to come down. As they walk past me, I notice one startling difference from last year, how far less winded and kind of overcome with heat that these runners are. I don't see too many people overcome with any heat exhaustion or anything like that. I haven't seen anybody head to the first aid tents. There may have been, but I haven't seen any personally myself yet. So this is a good thing. We've had some really healthy running conditions, actually excellent running conditions with the weather being the way it has been. Just a beautiful day. We were expecting cloudy skies today, but that hasn't happened yet. And they are talking about possible showers later on this afternoon, but I'll let Matt take care of that. As far as our conditions right now, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's sunny down here. Nice light breeze in the air, just enough to keep the runners cool as they're making their way toward the finish line. But how exciting is this, everybody? I tell you, just to be part of this community, I am so happy and so glad to be part of a broadcast and doing what we're doing in a community like this that has such heart. You see people of all ages running in this. Just unbelievable. Some great shots, too. I'm just absolutely amazed at the coverage that we're able to give you this year. Look at this coverage. That chopper you may hear over my microphone is the one you're watching as it's flying over top right now with this live coverage. Is that incredible? There's the chopper. Just a great, great day. Beautiful coverage. All right, we're going to be back. We have live coverage of Boilermaker 2000 continuing in just a few moments. Keep it here.
Mr. Lincoln, what do you think of our job offer?
No, I'm not interested.
Dr. Franklin?
Thank you, but no.
Professor Einstein?
I must decline.
If you're an employer, you know finding the best employees can be difficult. Offer the WISE program. All your employees' personal insurance needs taken care of right at work with quality coverage from Utica National Insurance and your local Utica agent.
Sorry, George. No WISE program.
Hi folks, Tony Hathaway from Utica's only 5-star Jeep dealership, E.J. Peters Jeep Hyundai, with some great deals on Jeep Grand Cherokee and Cherokee at hundreds under factory invoice, or 2000 Hyundai Sonata for only $14,769, fully equipped with dual side airbags. How about a 2000 Hyundai Accent and an unbelievable $87,669, both with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Looking for pre-owned? We got pre-owned from $87 a month right here at E.J. Peters on Commercial Drive, the only dealership you'll ever need.
The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Doctors and staff working together to provide you with quality personal health care. Feel confident that you and your family's wellness are in the right hands. Private physicians' offices for patients' personal care. Just remember, the St. Elizabeth Medical Group has locations throughout the Mohawk Valley. Call 734-WELL for the office near you. The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Health care near you.
Marcy Carpet introduces Floor Covering Plus. Not only can you save money when you buy floor covering at Marcy Carpet, you get a whole lot more. Like the largest team of floor covering experts, like professional expert installation from the best in the business, like the biggest selection of in-stock floor covering on sale now. Let our designers guarantee that your selection matches your room in style and color. Nobody else can offer Floor Covering Plus except Marcy Carpet Outlet and Design Center, Route 49 in Marcy.
Great activity. You've all done real
Welcome back, everybody, to our live coverage of Boilermaker 2000. Once again, our helicopter flying over the road race near the finish line as the runners continue to come in. We have had a bunch of the Go the Distance runners who just exited, just came through the finish line, and we're going to try and get a hold of some of them and bring them over and ask them how it felt to run this race. For many of them, of course, the first time they've ever run a Boilermaker road race, and this is an exciting time for them. You know, that's another thing about the Boilermaker. It's exciting for a lot of people every year because it is a first for them. A lot of times it's the first time they ever ran the race. Sometimes it's the first time they ever crossed a certain threshold in their running time. And of course, they all look forward to days like this. This is absolutely ideal. Couldn't have been much better. And so this is kind of the thing that they look for when they're running. And so you see a lot of personal best records set, and you see a lot of pretty happy smiles on faces as they come across this finish line. Again, I'm absolutely amazed. I don't see anybody humped over, kind of hunched over and winded and, you know, heat prostration, that kind of thing. Don't see any of that. They all look in pretty good shape as they're coming across the finish line. Winded, of course, but in good shape. So this is a good thing. All right, we're going to send it over to Teresa right now. Teresa Lee.
Bill, we're just wrapping things up here at Utica College. Runners are coming through. It's very sparse now. There'll be one and then a long space and then another runner. Spectators are, as you can see behind me, packing up and getting ready to go home. They've swept the streets to pick up the cups. Most of the runners are already through this point and they're on their way to the finish line, Bill.
That's wonderful, Teresa. I just talking to Jolene Ferris. I'm trying to get her to come up here, actually, to spend some time talk with us. I don't know if I can do that or not, but she, of course, is one of our top-notch reporters, and she ran this race. I think this is the second or third year that she has run the Boilermaker road race, and she's a real trooper. So we're so excited. So many of the News Channel 2 people participate in this event every year, and not only on the air, but in fact, we have to, you know, everybody wants to run in the Boilermaker, and we have to say, look, you can't do it this year. We got to have you run some equipment. You know, we have everybody running equipment. We can't even anybody run the Boilermaker, but we're so excited that we're able to have staff participate in this race every year. Again, a community event. What else could we say? It's absolutely wonderful. And so much has been offered as far as comments from people outside the community who have watched this for the first time. I've talked to people standing along the sideline that actually came here because they were on vacation. They were passing through and they knew the Boilermaker was going to be this weekend. And one fellow said he was over near the Chicago area, and he said, you know, we're on our way down to Cape Cod, and we just wanted to come through and see what this was like. And he was absolutely amazed. I mean, you know, he said, I can't believe the numbers of people that show up for this. I said, well, you know, it continues to be that every year, but it's the community spirit. That's what's doing it. We have, 5,000 volunteers, people that volunteer their time. They'd rather maybe be out golfing or swimming or sailboating or whatever, but they cancel it this one morning of the year, and they show up and they hand out sponges and they hand out cups of water and help people kind of refresh themselves as they make their way down the track. So it's that kind of excitement that's generated. I'm going to try and see if I can't get Jolene Ferris to come up here with me. See if I can't get Jolene Ferris to come on up here with me and have a seat. I don't know if she's got there. Grab that headset right there, Jolene. I'm going to put her on the spot. Do you know how terrible it is to put a woman on the spot who has no makeup on, has been running for an hour and a half?
Much worse. Don't ask me my age. That would make it even worse.
So this isn't the first time for you, for sure.
No, this was the third, but the first year, I guess I probably overtrained, and it was a breeze. I mean, I never suffered at all. I suffered today. You know you're in trouble when your eyelids start sweating. And I ran all the way up Burstone Road with a sponge in one hand and a quote from Steve Prefontaine in the other hand that I got from the induction ceremony last night. His sister wrote it down for me. Let me see what it says. And this is what got me up Burstone Hill. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. So that's all you can do really is give your best and try to have a good time and not be nervous. I mean, obviously we're not here to win anything, so we're just here to finish and have a good time, and we did.
Well, you always give your best, Jolene. Thanks so much for stopping by. Sure. I know you're winded and you want to take a break. So
I'm going to go die now.
Sure, Bill. Bye-bye. All right, we have Susan over in the media tent. Susan, back to you.
Well, Bill, I can't believe you actually got Jolene Ferris out there to talk to you. She did a great job. Joined by me now is inductee Hall of Fame, world-class runner, Catherine Switzer.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about what you thought of the race today.
Oh, you know, it was awesome. I mean, it was a sublime athletic performance from 2 points of view. One, the men's race, of course, highly competitive, and it's amazing because you never know who's going to win, who's going to do it. And from the women's point of view, where I was on a motorcycle with the lead woman for WIBX radio, was watching a sublime athletic performance. A woman at 1.5 miles looked around and she said, I'm going to go for this.
Right.
The weather is perfect. She's a course record holder and she broke the course record again. It was wonderful to be alongside of that.
Now, how does it make you feel? I know you were one of the very first women to be able to run the Boston Marathon, and you actually didn't quite have an easy go at it. How does it make you feel now that you watch and women after women after women are coming through, they're running, and nobody's stopping them?
Well, it's wonderful, and that's why we do things, you know. I don't think there's a mother in the world that begrudges her daughter not knowing the history of how that all happened. I wouldn't want to wish the difficulties we had as women on any woman competitor today. The thing that's nice is they have no sense of limitation, and today was a perfect example. Here's Catherine Dereba, who has problems of her own in Kenya, you know, as women in Kenya as second-class citizens, and she's emerging as a star, as a heroine. She comes back and she changes the culture in the sociology of her own country. And it's just wonderful to see that. And yes, everywhere, growing up in the United States now, young girls, no sense of limitation. You know, they can do anything. Shorts, bra tops, it's great. No, it's all out there.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's a great pleasure and a great honor
to be with you.
And we're going to send you right back now to Bill. Tell us a little bit about what's coming up.
All right, we will do that, Susan. Just very briefly, I want to tell all the Wimbledon fans that we will be joining Wimbledon. They just rolled the tarp back, so they will be able to begin play very shortly, and we'll be wrapping things up here at the Boilermaker very shortly. So stay right here. We'll be right back.
Marcy Carpet introduces Floor Covering Plus. Not only can you save money when you buy floor covering at Marcy Carpet, you get a whole lot more. Like the largest team of floor covering experts, like professional expert installation from the best in the business, like the biggest selection of in-stock floor covering on sale now. Let our designers guarantee that your selection matches your room in style and color. Nobody else can offer Floor Covering Plus except Marcy Carpet Outlet and Design Center, Route 49 in Marcy.
Hi folks, Tony Hathaway from Utica's only 5-star Jeep dealership, E.J. Peters Jeep Hyundai, with some great deals on Jeep Grand Cherokee and Cherokee at hundreds under factory invoice, or 2000 Hyundai Sonata for only $14,769, fully equipped with dual side airbags. How about a 2000 Hyundai Accent and an unbelievable $8769, both with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Looking for pre-owned? We got pre-owned from $87 a month right here at E.J. Peters on Commercial Drive, the only dealership you'll ever need.
As thousands of the best runners anywhere will tell you, there is a difference in 15K races. From its awesome start to its dramatic finish, the Boilermaker leads the way in excitement, community pride, and sheer commitment to what it takes to go the extra mile. As thousands of Central New Yorkers will also tell you, there's a difference in insurance agencies too. Gilroy, Kernan, and Gilroy. Proud to be a major sponsor of the Boilermaker, and proud to be leading the way in insurance since 1904.
Oh, we love Honey Nut Cheerios. Okay, kids, Mama gives a big bowl. Honey Nut Cheerios taste like honey. Mommy and Daddy love the nutty little O's, just like I do. And honey, it's sweet, just like you. Are you full? Don't worry, Mom will eat it. It's Honey Avenue. It's Honey Nut Cheerios.
Welcome back, everybody, to our live coverage of Boilermaker 2000. So excited you could spend the day with us, and so excited to be as part of this incredible community event. The runners still coming in as the race is beginning to wrap itself up now. Jason Paulus, our sports director, is standing by. He's over in the media tent with some special guests. Jason?
Thanks, Bill. Joining me now is Jerry Denoyer, one of my go-the-distance runners, and she was the second go-the-distance runner to come across the finish line, I believe. We were watching for you. Jerry, how do you feel? This is your first time running a major road race. How do you feel?
I feel absolutely wonderful. It's hard to believe, but it's like, I can't believe I did it.
Did you ever think, ever in your life, that this was going to be something that you could do down the road?
I never thought I could run 9.3 miles. No, never. It's been a wonderful group to train with. It was well mapped out. We started out slowly, and here we are.
Now, one last question. Describe the feeling you get with all these people as you're running down. They're cheering you on. They may not even know who you are, but they're cheering you on. How's that feel?
Amazing. It's just wonderful to see all the support, the whole 9 miles.
Well, I want to say congratulations, Jerry. You've been a great inspiration to a lot of people out there, along with the rest of our group, and we'll look forward to talking to you down the road. Thanks, Jerry. And we're going to bring in one more Go the Distance runner, is Bill Heisel. He's switching headsets right now, and he's going to walk right on over here and talk to us. Bill, I have to say, Bill, you got to be proud of yourself. You ran a great race today.
It's so wonderful. It's just such an achievement, and I can't say enough about the crowds. We ran faster today than we have in the training, and it's because of all the crowds, all the people that come out, the support. As Susan said, the city just stops for this race, and it is so awesome. And it's funny because all the Go the Distance crowd was together at the start, and we all said, okay, we're coming back next year.
That's great.
And that's a tribute. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough for all you did for us.
Well, we're so glad you did it, Bill. Thank you so much, Bill Heisel, one of our Go the Distance runners. And Bill, I'm sending it back to you at the finish line, and boy, this has been an absolutely awesome race and an awesome run, and boy, Utica came out with full force today, didn't they?
It has indeed, and it did indeed. And Jason, you've done a wonderful job yourself, along with Jim O'Brien. The coverage was excellent. We really appreciated every minute of it, watching everything that was happening, and the camera shots. Our production team, I got to say something about these people. I've worked at 3 different markets, and we have some of the most amazing production people in the world. I mean, these guys just throw everything together in such a hurry. I mean throw it together. I mean, they have like 24 hours to get everything, hooked up and get all of our camera platforms and arrange for the chopper and everything else that has to go on. So we just really appreciate them. And so it is that this 23rd running of the Boilermaker Road Race has made its way into the record books. There have been new milestones among them, that this event's leader for the past 23 years is stepping down, a decision made not lightly but only after careful planning to ensure the success of future Boilermakers is secure. For Earl Reed, surely a bittersweet moment, but we all know he won't be far from this race. After all, it's a part of him. And what about the runners themselves, the elite and those who run for just the joy of being part of this event? What about them? They'll be back. Because just as it has every year, the Boilermaker Road Race will continue to grow and records will continue to be broken. The great author once wrote, "To the victor go the spoils." Well, what sets the Boilermaker apart from every other road race is that there are no spoils. There are only winners here, and the gratitude of everybody. Everybody in this community so embraced this event so to make it singular unto itself. And we can send a message to the nation and the world that people can come together and share a common joy in what they do. For the entire staff of News Channel 2, I'm Bill Worden, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for Wimbledon. It's next. Good day.
Today's live coverage has been brought to you by Gilroy, Kernan, and Gilroy Insurance, St. Elizabeth Medical Group, Marcy Carpet Outlet and Design Center, E.J. Peters Jeep Hyundai, Utica National Insurance Group, and News Channel 2.
You all have excellent backgrounds. What would it take for you to come work for us? President Lincoln?
We want the WISE program. All our personal insurance needs are taken care of right at work through payroll deduction.
Dr. Franklin?
It's very convenient. No bills at home, and we get life insurance, auto, home, boat, complete coverage.
General Washington?
It's offered by Utica National Insurance and your local Utica agent. Make the wise decision.
The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Doctors and staff working together to provide you with quality personal health care. Feel confident that you and your family's wellness are in the right hands. Private physicians' offices for patients' personal care. Just remember, the St. Elizabeth Medical Group has locations throughout the Mohawk Valley. Call 734-WELL for the office near you. The St. Elizabeth Medical Group. Healthcare near you.
As thousands of the best runners anywhere will tell you, there is a difference in 15K races. From its awesome start to its dramatic finish, the Boilermaker leads the way in excitement, community pride, and sheer commitment to what it takes to go the extra mile. As thousands of Central New Yorkers will also tell you, there's a difference in insurance agencies, too. Gilroy, Kernan, and Gilroy. Proud to be a major sponsor of the Boilermaker, and proud to be leading the way in insurance since 1904.
You're watching News Channel 2, WKTV, Utica.
We now join our regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
Immediately start playing the match. So it's the quality of tennis is better if you hit a couple balls. So that is the theory behind that.
Do you ever find your opponent trying to do anything to get in your head during the warm-up?
Which, by the way, is oh yeah, absolutely. And sometimes they wouldn't hit. Type of shots, you know, when at certain occasions wouldn't give you overheads when you ask for it, not hit the ball where you want it. A lot of people like to end their volley in practice with a drop shot or a certain, it's all superstition. Here's the history that Sampras is trying to eclipse today, number 13. That's what's so scary about boxing, though, when you see these guys come out. I mean, yeah, they're trying to warm up in the locker room, but then they come out there, and then you think, man, especially in the heavyweights, they come right, boom, one punch, and you're, wow, is that nerve-wracking fight. Just like this is here, this moment at Wimbledon.
And the first for Patrick Rafter is Neil Frazier, the great Aussie, who was a champion here himself, said he always told Rafter that he had the ability to do it on this surface. And Pete Sampras, who himself was never a grass court fan as a teenager, now trying for his 7th Wimbledon title. And John, one major question in this match has to be, can Rafter serve as well as he did against Agassi, who only broke him 4 times, as great a returner as Andre is, in 5 sets.
He won't be broken 4 times if he serves that well. Someone yelled, "Come on, mate," Aussie in the crowd.
Well, Rafter, with a decisive answer to that question, starts with a great service game.
Tell him to catch the ball with his left hand so he doesn't jam his fingers.
Well, John, this has been Pete Sampras' home the last 7 years. A remarkable run, losing only 1 match here to Richard Krajicek.
And you look at that and you say that can't be true. No one can be that good.
Very difficult to compare what William Renshaw achieved in the 1880s to what Sampras may do today, but nonetheless, the history books will say it would be a tie.
Renshaw won it 7 times, right? And he played about 14 matches. He only had to defend his title, play 1 match. Everyone out to fight their way to the finals. Defending champions sitting there waiting. And not surprisingly, both players have come out cooking on the serve.
And John, the other phase of the serving question, Pete Sampras in his 6 finals here, all victorious, has only been broken for 4 games in 6 years.
This is probably why, right here. 130 miles an hour.
And that includes the final you watched here last year when Agassi could not get to him.
It's an amazing stat, it really is. Goran, you can understand a couple times, not the world's greatest returner, but Agassi is. Jim Courier was a man who could hit some returns.
So both players start with strong service games. And we invite you during your enjoyment of this Wimbledon Championship to log on to wimbledon.msnbc.com. You can chat live with Bud Collins and check out the post-match press conference on the Wimbledon channel, all at wimbledon.msnbc.com.
Just long. Well left by Rafter. You let that go. Make sure it's going to go out. Otherwise, take a stab at it, especially when you volley as well as Patrick does.
Pete Sampras practiced yesterday lightly here. Was the only time that he has done so between matches in the fortnight. Had some acupuncture treatment on the inflammation of his shin.
There's Rafter at his finest. Kick serve. He lunges out to the backhand and knifes that volley away, a la his coach in Davis Cup, Tony Roach. Didn't put enough on this serve. Sampras able to just calmly block it up the line for a winner.
Dominant service games to begin the championship.
At Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, our global expertise has always been one of our greatest assets and greatest sources of pride.